combative. It seemed as if he was listening to respond.
Here's
He
the
wasn't
key.
even processing what she was saying because she was saying some real shit. So let's preface with that. But the first takeaway off rip, one thing that I love, she never said high value man, high value X, Y, and Z. She called it high functioning. Whew. You are either functioning very low or you are functioning at a higher frequency. I love that. Secondly, she went on to explain it when specifically she said women say like, I don't need you. Because us as men, when we hear that, we get very defensive. Like, what you mean you don't need a man? She dove into it, what she meant. She's saying like, I'm saying I'm an independent woman. I'm interdependent. Those are two different things. She don't need that unhealed trauma bonding. She don't need that. She need that healed part of you. But she also has the capacity to deal with the unhealed part of you. That's some deep shit. And then she went on to explain how you can be a hybrid. You can be high functioning and low functioning simultaneously. And that part hit me to my core. And let me tell you why. I love to consider myself a very emotionally intelligent man. And so oftentimes I operate at a high functioning level. But she said, oftentimes that high functioning man cannot also be low functioning and meeting that person where she needs to be met. And that's where I suffer with that. Because the moment I see or feel toxicity or a disconnection, I'm out. For so long, I felt like I'm high functioning, emotionally intelligent. This is the right decision. But nah, she checked me. You have to be able to have a capacity to meet your partner at that low. Without daddy being there.
Hey, I want to first say rest in peace to either that Curb or that Ty. One of them died because you hit the shit out of. I watched a couple of T-Rail training videos. I ain't gonna lie, man. He be kissing ass sometimes. But hey, on to what he said. A whole bunch of word salad. You don't need all that. Like, I can't even repeat it, what y'all be talking about. You don't need all that word salad to get your point across. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm high functioning, but I'm really low functioning, but I got a low functioning aspects. I'm high functioning, but I got low functioning actions. Like, either you high functional or low functional. Just let's keep it simple. You high value or you low value? Medium value? I hate that we even have to talk like that anyway. Because to me, you own bullshit or you're not. That's it. Keep it simple. And like I've always said, Cam Newton on some bullshit, thinking that having babies out of wedlock, 3 baby mamas. The first one, he slept with another lady, got her pregnant. So that's 2. That one didn't work out. Got another one, put a baby in her. 3. Didn't marry none of them. And just because you got the kids and you got a whole lot of money, you call that an unbroken household? No, sir. It's out of order. Out of order. And I keep saying that.
Hey man, she's right. It doesn't matter how much money you might have or how active you might think you are. When you have to split your time between a large amount of kids, let alone the multiple mothers that you created these kids with, bro, you're never going to have enough time to properly raise these kids. That's the point she was getting at. There's 8 kids and 3 baby moms. And on top of that, saying that you want more kids, there's even less time to split between the ones you already have. Then adding on that you want to get married, but your fear of divorce makes you wait and bide your time until you do so is going to be even less time to your wife and the kids kids that come out of that marriage. You got to see and understand how that's going to affect these children. Then peep this too. On the days that you're going to go spend the time with the kids that aren't in those marriage, how's your wife going to feel? She's not going to have time either. This is a situation where money can't solve everything. You can't be everywhere at the same time. No matter how good your fathering skills are, if you're not there to actually use them, bro, what's the point? Somebody at some point is going to be affected by something, bro, and that's inevitable. Even if you have all your kids, you have them living with you, which he said he does. Here's the kicker. You got to have their mothers in the house with them, and then your wife too. That's the best possible outcome for the kids to grow up the right way. But the possibility of that happening is slim to none. So, hey, you got to hear what she's saying, my brother.
And I think everybody.
And hey, homie right there. Homie right there. Hit the nail on the head. He caught that point. He got all the kids with him. But the only way it would really work, where it be stable, where you could call this a stable household, if you had all the mothers and your wife living in the house together. Really, they all should be your wife. You know, I don't personally do polygamy, but I can't say that I don't believe in polygamy, because there are people who do it and it do work out. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, there's nothing against it. According to my beliefs, there's nothing that goes against polygamy, right? So let's be honest. When it comes down to polygamy, men are not doing it for the right reasons. Men want to do it just because they want to get their freak on. Men want to do it just because they want to flex. Men want to do it because, just because. It's not really necessarily, oh, I want to take responsibility, or, oh, we're trying to build this big community, so we're going to do things this way. That's what people did polygamy back in the day for. It was really a big responsibility for a man to do that. And it really was a big weight on your shoulders. It was a lot to take hold of. Like, polygamy seems cool, but you have to construct a lot of things for it in order for it to work for everyone. You have to make sure everybody's at peace when it comes down to polygamy. And like he said, it's slim to none that's going to happen, because there was infidelity involved. There's no ring involved, no marriage, God, none of that. So it's really just free form, doing what you want to do.
Hey, maybe I kind of rushed this thing a little bit. So after consideration and thinking on the whole thing about this whole Cam Newton thing, I came to this conclusion. Ain't nothing changed. I'm right. Ain't nothing changed how I felt yesterday. Absolutely gonna stand on it. Gonna stand on it till 10 toes down. I'm standing on that. The whole interview, in my perspective, was slighted, in my opinion, because this whole situation about him being this and him being that, he could not do any of this by himself. Whatever y'all say, whatever his plan was and how he chose, he still cannot do any of this stuff by himself. There are two people involved in this situation. Two people came together, they made a decision, they laid down, they got up, a baby came out. He went over here to another person, made a decision, laid down, another baby came out. There's a lot of women. But anyway, that ain't in my business. But still, the accountability has to be on everybody. So if he's doing this, there's somebody else involved in this too. That's my only opinion. That was my only thing I felt. And then when these type of videos come out, just like with Nick Cannon and stuff like that, people get, well, how they out here making all these babies and doing this, and they ain't marrying, they ain't doing this stuff by themselves. Who they making babies with? Women. These women know what they're getting into. That's all I'm saying. Don't sit up and act like these women are just the victim. They just so naive. Oh, I didn't know that. No, these women know what's going on. The woman chooses the man. It's not the other way around. I know you done heard this. Well, he that findeth, da-da-da-da-da. I don't care if you findeth a wife. That wife has to agree to you finding her. It is what it is. Only thing I said yesterday was it felt slighted, and then from all the comments and posts and he this and excuse me, this, and all this stuff. Until I made this post yesterday about holding the women accountable, they're just as, guilty as everybody else. I didn't see nothing, unless I'm wrong. I didn't see nobody say nothing about, well, the women and this. No, everybody was just cam this, cam that, until I made that post. Well, the women, then people would say, well, the women went Delos, and they went how they, nah, they ain't had nothing to do with it. The video to me was felt slighted, and she know what she was doing. She know why she was doing it. We all know why she was doing it. To get clicks and views. And then she called him selfish? How she called him selfish? That man, he came out, he's honest. Excuse me. See, a lot of y'all can't take real honesty when a man tell you, hey, I ain't trying to get married, I'm just trying to smash. And he said, look, I'm more afraid of the...
So I gotta stop homie right here. And this is what I had an issue with. I had a really big issue with this. See, first of all, when it came down to the interview, none of those women were there to defend themselves. So it's not about the women. Even though, let's keep it a buck. Yeah, okay. These women are wrong as well. It does take two people to tango. It does take two people to lay down and bear children. But let's dive in detail. See, context matters. Context always matters. Let's get into detail. Cam Newton had his first lady. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend. Cam Newton went behind her back and had a baby on her. So there's decisiveness there. There was lying. You saying he's being upfront? No, he wasn't being upfront. He had not to be. And there had to be some type of patterns of him not being upfront. That's one thing. And another thing, it is being selfish. This dude just sat here on his podcast and said, he was asked, do you want more children? Or he said he gave it up that he wanted more children. That he wanted more children. And not only did he say he just wanted more children, he want just God to bring them. God just bring them on. Bring them wherever they come from, Chinese, Ching Chong, Mexican, Black, Jamaican. Don't matter, just bring them. Bring me some babies. That's what he said. That's what that dude said. Just the caveat about that. He's with a woman right now. Why not say, oh, I want to have more children with the lady I'm with now or my wife? He can't say that because he out here moving willy-nilly. Moving how the hell he wanting to move. And my problem with that, y'all want to call women into this situation where we're holding a man accountable. Okay, we'll call that out. We'll call that out. We call that shit out all day long in the red pill space. It's so fucking toxic, bro. Y'all call women shit out all day long, but y'all don't call out the men that's doing the bullshit to get us in these situations in the first place. At the end of the day, the men are the leaders. Women follow suit to what the fuck we do. Everything we do, they want to end up doing it. Women saw dudes getting into music, doing this rap shit. Women all of a sudden want to rap now. Women want to talk the same way we talk, walk the same way we walk, work the same jobs we work. They follow suit to us. So I get sick of that shit. It's toxic red pill banter.
Than I am to get married. That's his perspective. And that's why a lot of people feel in his world, that's how he feels. You can't slight that man. He told you how he felt. Now, if you choose to lay down with this man, you get what you get. So how is he wrong? When you talk about fathers, you talk about whatever. The key thing is this man made his decision, living with his consequences, not even consequences. He just taking care of his kids. And I know it's a difference in some situations to where people saying, well, he's not in the home, he is in the home, whatever. That's their business. If they can work it out for their kids, that's their business.
To be honest, it's not a hard concept to understand that if you as a man, you have a child with someone, or you have 8 kids with 3 or 4 different baby mamas, and then you still want to get married to someone that is not one of the parents to your child, it is not hard to understand that, yes, that is technically a broken home. It's not hard. We as men talk about how important it is that kids have their fathers in their life. But then when we talk about a broken home, all of a sudden we're like, no, it's not a broken home because I provide for my kids financially, provide for my baby mamas. I give my baby mamas homes. I give my baby mamas money. As we all know, there is so much more to being a father than just providing shelter, providing finances, and being there for your kids some of the time. First off, if you have 8 kids by different women, there's no way you can be there for all those kids equally. You will spread yourself thin. You will have to miss some occasions, especially during graduation season. What about those nights where you want to be with dad because you had a bad dream? What about those nights where you want to come home for school or wait for dad to come home and tell them how great your dad was, but your child can't do that because dad's with his other family? I understand I'm not a father. I understand that I'm not a parent, but I understand where that therapist was coming from, and she was more than right. There's so many things, little microscopic things that you can miss if you have a bunch of different kids by a bunch of different women that your money, your resources will never be able to fix within
So a
that
lot of
child.
people been talking about Cam Newton and Nick Cannon's interview, and they both just had an interview in the same week that's pretty similar. Both of them basically sat down in the interview and said, listen, we rich as fuck and we want as many kids as we can have with as many as beautiful women baby mamas as we can have because we can afford it. Now, is that reckless to just be out here making babies because you can afford it? Absolutely. First of all, this isn't a black thing. This is a millionaire thing. Rich men do this shit all the time. The women that was interviewing them was way too worried about them influencing other men to do shit like this. And I'm like, that's not gonna fucking happen because we not walking around with $100 million in the fucking bank. Like, niggas is out here making $20 an hour. We try to do everything in our power to make you not have the baby. What the fuck? Also, let's not act like these women that they are impregnating are not signing up for this shit, because they are. These rich ass men are basically seeing these beautiful ass women walking up to them and saying, hey, you're pretty enough to be my baby mom. Would you like to? I'll pay you. I'll pay you for the rest of your life. I'll pay you child support for the rest of your life, at least for the next 18 years. And the women are like, yeah, sure, why not? I get to be a rich nigga's baby mama. Shit, why not? Let's stop acting like we don't all know plenty of women that's down to be a rich nigga's baby mama. But it seems like what nobody's understanding is that everybody gets what they want except for the fucking child. The rich man gets another baby with beautiful DNA. The woman gets a baby by a rich man and gets to treat her child like a check for the next motherfucking 18 years. And it's really sad because the child just becomes the product of a father that just wanted a baby by a pretty girl and a mother that just didn't want to fucking work. Bullshit.
People who suffer the most in this situation are those babies. Whether he got all the kids in that home or not, the babies suffer. Most important. That's most important. And in Kim's, unique situation, the mothers don't really have custody, right? Or they don't live with the mothers. How they feel about it? How they feel about them kids not living with them? Are there rules and regulations that Kim instill in his kids that the baby mothers tell different when they go over there? What about the men in their life now? Do those kids got to go over there and call them dad too? Are they stepdads now? Crazy dynamic. It's like I said, man, marry before you carry. Don't go around sleeping with all these women. I know the red pill, manosphere, they tell us these things like it's real cool, man. I know me growing up, learning from my uncles, friends that going around, seeing how many women you can deal with, how many women you can deal with at one at a time. That was a cool thing, right? Nah, man, it's not the answer. Cause see, we complain about the situations that we put ourselves in. The community where you see these kids got guns and switches and don't know how to read a damn book, ain't got no money, but they got a Glock 9 ready to shoot some shit up at the gas station for whatever fucking reason, just for somebody to look at them wrong. That little boy, more than likely 9 times out of 10, comes from this fucking function. Single parent household, no structure, no discipline. Now he out here playing gangster like this shit a video game. Let's do better, black men. Let's do better, man. That's gonna be the end of this one. We on to the next.